I don't always drink beer. But when I do, I drink until I go, yeah. That's what I do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Zazel's Nasal Cleaning. No, to the diaries. Yeah. Well, let's see. Today is February the 20-something, brothers. It's the last week of February, and not for the fact that we are almost into March, makes me wonder what kind of happened to January. I know we had a January. I remember it starting, but it kind of just gone, and now we're almost into March. Well, time marches on, doesn't it? Yes, indeed. That was dumb. Anyway, this week, or this next week, and so many whatevers, we have allegedly a shoot coming up for 30 miles. Now, I've been saying this, and every time the time comes to do it, something happens. We've had the flu, of course, everyone's had the flu, and we've had, last weekend, we were all set to go, and it rained. You know, it's just been weird. It's been one thing after another, and this movie's taking a long time. The kid in this movie's going to be taller than me before we get it done. I'm going to have a hard time explaining that. Of course, it does take place in a post-apocalyptic world, so maybe it's a mutation. I don't know. We did finish another song for Waiting for Waffles. It's a really good one. I think it's a really good one. Called The Journey There, and it's on the Waiting for Waffles YouTube channel as well as the Waiting for Waffles Facebook page and my Facebook page as well. So this week, we have a couple of things coming up that deal with the game design and getting started working outside. Plus, we have it's that wonderful time of year when I have to start repairing props, because we have the school coming up, and theoretically, well, a little bit more than theoretically now, I'm going to be teaching, and I need to have my props ready. I don't know exactly how it's going to work this year. Last time we talked about it, I talked it over with Zach. It was in it was the year before last, and we were going to make it so the filmmaking class had one class, so however big it needs to be, so we have time to make film. Well, they're changing up the way the hours are working. I don't know if we can still do it that way, and you know what? I really don't care. As long as I'm out there teaching and the kids are learning and we got something to show for it, I am good with it. So I need to rebuild the flower prop. I need to do a repair on the swamp table, the bouncy swamp table thing. The Weeblefester hand is kind of like this. We got to fix that. And I think I'm going to update some of the other props. So I'm not using the same thing I've been using every year. But I will be using the same thing I use every year, but they'll look different. That's the way I roll. Anyway, so that's going to be coming up over the next couple episodes, most likely. And what else? Well, you know, last episode I had a little problem with my camera. It went poof. And now I've got a new camera, and so far I am pretty darn happy with the new camera. But I want you to know that the only reason we were able to get a new camera is because we got donations to our GoFundMe page to replace the camera. And the donations came, of course, from people who do, you know, are Kid Stuff Films fans. Kid Stuff Films fans. That's not easy to say when you don't have a lot of teeth. So it was a good thing that we were able to do that, and I pretty much got the camera paid off. I told you last time that it was mostly paid, but not entirely paid. Well, we're almost to entirely paid, so we're doing pretty good. Also, what else? There was one other thing, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, last episode we didn't have it. I didn't gripe for you, so I'll gripe for you this episode. We got, of course, the generic junk mail and all that kind of fun stuff coming up. So hopefully this episode will be a little bit more interesting than the last one, which was mostly just me talking. Well, most of them are that anyway. But We did have the tournament on the last episode, so that did break things up a bit. So anyway, well, I guess without any further ado, I would just, let's get going. Oh. I'm still here. But you may notice that when I did the intro, I had my hair tied back and my beard was like scraggly all over, and I was watching it and I looked like a 93-year-old man. So now I have pulled my hair back down, I trimmed my beard over the last couple of minutes, and now I look like I'm only 89. So, yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. I have to go into work tonight. Matter of fact, I have to go into work in about 35 minutes. I'm going to be heading over there. And tonight, I'm going to bring you along. Now, I don't know if there'll be any reason for it. Might be nothing happening. It's very rare that nothing is happening, but you never can tell. So, I'm going to bring you along, and if something's going on, or something's got to work on, or blah, 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 I can show it to you. Also, it's been a long time since I took you guys behind the machines. You've seen the shop plenty of times, but I thought this time I might give you a little bit of an exploration. And I am not going to be wearing this shirt, because this is not my work shirt. This is nobody's work shirt. It's just the one I got on, but I got to change, and then we're going to head over there in a little bit. So here we go. Alright, welcome back to the shop. I'm going to take you out to see some of the stuff. I'm thinking of going, last time I tried this, I went to one of the center lanes. I think tonight I'm going to go to one of the end lanes so you can see it a little better. It's 8:45 on a Friday night, and as a general rule we have our cosmic bowling that starts about 9:30ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I got to go down the whole length of the house and switch all the lights on the pin decks from regular fluorescent light to black light. We don't have that on a single switch, and we don't have the switches on the back, they're on the front. It's just the way things happen, you know. But I don't think I have, I have something on the bench, so maybe I might have something else to show you as well. So that's what we're going to do for the next few whatevers. Okay, so let's take a look at this machine running here. Right now the distributor is loading pins into the machine. It does not load them in order. It does not go 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes 1, 3, 2, 4, 7, 8, 5, 6, 10, 9. Yeah. Anyway, well, I was laughing about that. You see, maybe you might have seen me working on a respot cell several episodes back. That's the part that close and pick up the pins when you miss. Feeling someone's going to bowl here any minute. This cord hanging down is not part of the machine. That's just an oil machine over there. There we go. Drop in, and when the 9-pin drops in, that tells the machine that the deck is fully loaded and ready to be put down on the pin deck down below. That is a gutter ball. And here we are back in the sanctity of the shop. So now you've seen it. This is the second time I've shown it, but I think this time it was a little bit better because I was able to show you more. It looked kind of dark when I filmed it, but I'll just lighten it up. So there you go. Okay, so I'm making a commitment to myself right now, and not just to myself, but for people that have been waiting for the Kid Stuff Games things. We have 3, 4, 5 in production. Okay? You guys know, if you followed Darkslade Diaries, you know about a couple of them. But a couple of them I've removed and restarted and blah, 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 blah. And the only one we released is Weeblefester's World of Peril, which is a pretty simple breakout game, but it has Weeblefester scenes and things like that in it. So, today is Saturday. It is about 4:30, and I actually have to, well, I have to kind of go to work. I'm doing the photo booth today, so it's something I like to do, but I've got to do it. And so for the next 2 hours, I'm going to be working just on games, and tomorrow, Sunday, I am making a commitment, and I'm doing it on video. I'm going to spend the day working on the games. I want to get a couple more out because, you know, for one thing, they make money, which is always a wonderful thing because my budget is... but also because I think they're unique. I mean, they use a lot of the old cliches and everything like that, but I think they're unique because they're kids stuff films type games, which means, you know, the perils that are going to happen to these kids are something totally what you would not expect out of a game or out of a movie, because, you know, we always try and coddle them to make sure they're taken care of and that everything is well and good, which is fine, and in real life that's what I do as well. But in the games, it's another story. These are supposed to be experiences that kids this age could never actually connect to reality because they are so far-fetched that they would never really happen in real life. And one of the cool things is when I make a game like this, watching, or even the films for that matter, watching the kids who are in it react to seeing these things happen to them, if they're working with, you know, the bigger props like the Weeblefester prop, then yeah, it actually, you know, took place, sort of. But to, you know, to see them in the games where all kinds of things can happen if they're not successful, just watching their reaction is really quite fun. So, and they're also, I think they're fun games. They're mostly platform games, running games, that kind of stuff. But I'm going to work on those this Sunday, tomorrow, okay? And I'm going to start working on them right now. And when I come home from work tonight, if I am not ready to, I might work on them tonight too. So we'll see. Going to put music on. Now that I have a Spotify account that actually I'm paying for, I might as well enjoy it. So I'm going to put some music on, sit down and start working on these things. I'll kind of give you a little progress report as we go along. Provided, unless you don't want a progress report. Well, I'm going to give it to you anyway. So there you go. I just heard a commercial on the radio when I was coming back from the grocery store. It was intriguing.
It's Daddy's Weekly Gripe. Yeah. It's Daddy's Weekly Gripe. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Daddy's Weekly Gripe.
It started with, if this were just any key, and this were just any ignition, and this was just any transmission, then it wouldn't be a Mercedes. And you're absolutely right. Because if it was, I couldn't afford it and I wouldn't know what it sounds like anyway. It was the weirdest commercial because what it was for Mercedes-Benz pre-owned Mercedes. You see? It's not a pre-owned Mercedes. If you want a fancy car, you're certainly entitled to it. But to take a car that has been pre-owned, someone has already driven it around for a long time and said, ugh, give me a Prius. You know, to advertise it as if it were a new car almost is like ridiculous. Also advertising it by saying things like, if these were just regular tires on the regular concrete and the regular butt was in the regular seat, this would be a regular car. Yeah, it is anyway. And then they ended up with, I love this, it's either a Mercedes-Benz or it isn't. Well, no kidding. That's brilliant. They actually hired somebody, they hired some kind of ad person to come up with, it's either that or it isn't. Here, I'll give you an example. Here we go. This is either a stereo headphone splitter cable or it isn't. You know, I should have gotten into advertising. Seems to be extremely easy to do, and you make lots of money telling people stuff they already know. Okay, this is not a monsoon. This is a full-blown storm. And aside from the torrential rain coming down, we've had quite a bit of thunder. And it's been, here it comes. Check it out. And people running in the rain for some reason or another.
Oh man, was it ever a bad time to go out for a walk?
This is why I don't have a dog, man. Well, there you go. Ooh. Either this is a stapler, or it isn't. Okay, I got some junk mail here that is designed to, at first, make you go, and then later you'll realize it's just, yeah, here you go again. And it's this one right here. Here it is. Addressed to me, and it says, personal and confidential. Now let me tell you something, if you're a company that sends stuff like this here, and you want people to look at it, the last thing in the world you want to write on there is personal and confidential, because what that usually means is it's a collection agency, or somebody who's you owe money to, or they've decided you owe money to, and they're just going to take it from you. But when it's on the envelope, it is printed in plain black print, black text across here, and it would say personal and confidential, and the return address would have more than just a P.O. box. There we go. But this is designed to look like it was stamped on there, and it doesn't. It looks like it's part of the envelope. So let's see what's so personal and confidential here. I love that sound of envelopes tearing open. Before I look, I make you bet that it's a loan offer. My mail. Here we go. Important. Pre-approved loan offer. Ha-ha! Subject, pre-approval loan offer. Now, we've gone over this whole pre-approval thing several times, and we know that when it says pre-approved, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. It just means that they've decided to send this to you. Then you have 974 words of fine print that you can't read because it's too thin, and it's printed thin, and it's printed light, and it becomes personal and confidential. I always seem to hit myself in the head with these things. I have another piece here from another company, and they've given me what looks like a tax return, or, oh, I'm covering the wrong thing, a tax return or a check. It's what it's made to look like. Let's see what it is. It's a loan offer. They are coming out of the woodwork today. This one has got a little access card in the upper corner here. And let's see here. It's full of stuff. Okay, this is one of the bigger loan offers, you can tell, because it's more than one page. And none of this looks like it means anything that would mean anything to me, so we'll get rid of that. And at least I didn't hit myself in the face with it. Quick guide. Bill consolidation. Oh, it's for bill consolidation. A little different than a loan offer, but goes in the same garbage can. Here's the envelope. I hit myself in the head with the envelope last time. We'll try to do this up. Oh, it still got me right in the back. And that's it. Junk mail of, we knew it was coming, type proportions. So, oh well. Either this is a bush, or it isn't. I was on my way down to the grocery store. I was going to get some more stew beef, because I was going to make my beef stew which sounded really good at the time. But as I was walking down towards the vehicle of adventure, I passed by one of the other residents in this little zone here. They had their window open, and they were making something that smelled an awful lot like good spaghetti. The sauce was, oh, and I said, I got a better idea. And I turned around and I came back because I've got ground beef and I've got everything I need to make spaghetti, and I decided I'm going to do that today. Got something in the mail that was not junk, per se. In other words, it was sent to me. It was intended to come to me. It's a jury summons. So, in all, it's junk. Because it's jury duty. Now, this is the thing about jury duty. I don't have a problem serving jury duty. At least I wouldn't if they, would actually compensate for your time. $12 a day does not exactly compensate for time. But in all the times that I've gone to jury duty, with one exception, and that was in California, I've never got called to do jury duty. I mean, I've gotten the summons, I've shown up, and then I went home. I always got called, I always was in one of the groups that got called up, and then, we go up and the judge would say, well, just say small flavor, and we'd say, that's just about naked, and you'd say, I pork cream, and it was, oh, no, just say, I made this thing, what was it? And it would go on and on and on and on for about 2 hours, and after that time, he'd say, okay, go bye. So it was, anyway, I have jury duty. My jury duty is currently on the floor because it fell off the chair I tossed it in. And one of the rare things that happened with this particular summons is it's actually happening on a day that doesn't mean anything. It's just a day that I don't work until the evening, and I have nothing planned for the day. So it's at least it's not on a day that's really going to be a problem. But yeah, for a long time I thought that when I moved to Arizona that they had me on like a rotating list for jury duty. I got called for jury duty twice when I lived in California. I lived in California for 40 years. I got called for jury duty twice. I've lived in Arizona for 20 years. For 20... How old am I? Oh yeah, coming up on 23 years. I've gotten called 6 times. 6 times in 23 years. And only twice in California. Well, it is what it is. Of course, they don't call you if you're, younger than 18, so I have to take 18 years off that 40. But that point is, I get called an awful lot. And I thought that I had gotten called just like 2 years ago, and I went and checked my records, and the last time I served jury duty was in 2014. So it's been a while. So, it is what it is. Okay, some things. Let's do. Action.
Robert, wake up, Robert.
If I open my eyes and my pants are not on fire, you are in deep trouble.
There's something out there.
There's always something out there.
There's a light.
There's a light what? A light beer? Light truck? Light stormtrooper? What? Light what? What are you talking about, a light?
I don't know.
Light? There's no light. Do you know of a light? I don't know of any
There's a
light.
There's something moving around there.
Yeah, but it's not a light. Oh, it's my line. Just stay in the light. Just stay in the light and you'll be fine.
Come on, Dad.
My line. I
There's something moving
boo-booed.
around there. There's always something moving around there. Just stay in the light and you'll be fine.
All right, got it. All right.
There's something moving out there, Robert.
There's always something moving out there. Just stay in the light, you'll be fine.
What if it's a raider? They can see us in the light.
It's not a raider. If it was a raider, we would already know about it. It'd already be here. Just don't panic.
What if I want to panic? What if I feel like panicking?
Get yourself a Bud Light. Told you it wasn't a raider.
What was that thing?
It was our world's glorious version of a desert lobster.
A what?
A scorpion. It was a mutated scorpion. How come you didn't shoot
It
it?
was practically on my face.
And you panicked.
I'm so not cut for this.
Told you it wasn't a raider. Told you it wasn't a raider. Told you it wasn't a raider. Told you it wasn't a lobster.
So it was a raider. It was a raider.
gang, that's going to be it for this here episode. I added a lot of extra letters to that one. Anyway, next episode, I'm going to do something for everybody. Hopefully. Since we are all kind of stuck with this COVID-19 business going on, and a lot of us are stuck at home, or a lot of us have things we want to do we can't do, and since our subscriptions have gotten up to a walloping 95, those of you who are subscribed, I'm going to do a special episode, COVID-19 episode. I don't think I'll call it that, though. I don't know what I'll call it. It'll have a different name than the usual 3 subject matters. And what I'm going to put in it are places that I've been to. Places to go. So when we're stuck inside the house, we can all take a trip. Okay? I've got, of course I got lots of Disneyland stuff. I got Disneyland stuff from years ago. So maybe we'll go do some of that and see some of the attractions the way they used to look. I've got aquariums. I've got outdoor things that we've done. I'm just going to take and make a composite. And that will be our next episode. And I think maybe we won't feel quite so shut in. You know, it won't be quite so much cabin fever. We'll see. I've got a ton of stuff, and I'm going to just go through it over the next week or so and collect what I think you might find interesting or not. I'll annotate it as best I can, and we'll go from there. That will be in the next episode, okay? In the meantime, you guys have yourselves a great week or two. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, and stay safe. End of line.